Hey, and welcome to this video about 5 ways to use the Eventide iOS plugins. One of the first things I did was record with this Walkman cassette. I was out on the biggest beach in Scandinavia, in fact. I recorded an improvisation of ambient music onto the cassette and then recorded from the cassette into the Eventide Blackhole plugin. And the fun thing here was that I used a little technique I like to call ribbon tickling. Eventide plugins have a ribbon controller where you can control a lot of knob parameters at the same time, very easy to set up. The cool thing about this is that you can actually jump instantaneously between settings. It also helps that the algorithms in the reverb are engineered for smoothly interpolating between values. Makes the plugins very playable. The second jam I did was out in the forest of Sweden. In this jam I was doing live vocals. It was through all 3 of the Eventide iOS plugins, MicroPitch, UltraTap and Blackhole. With the ribbon controllers you can actually control them all 3 simultaneously. That's a bit more difficult to do on a mouse on a desktop. You can of course set up MIDI faders and all that stuff, but you have it all there on the screen and it's ready to go on the iOS plugins. The third jam I did was out by a lake, also up in Sweden, and I was using this, the Teenage Engineering OPZ. I make a lot of ambient music on this little synth and sampler, and in this case I was using UltraTap, and it adds a lot to the ambient piece that I was performing. It's a great little plug-in for that. Another point with UltraTap is that it has a hot switch, which is an independent setting of the knobs from the ribbon controllers. So you can actually jump to a 3rd setting with the hot switch and then afterwards hop back to the ribbon controller settings. The hot switch and the ribbon controllers mean that you can get wildly different settings on a very, very flexible delay algorithm. And UltraTap is very, very flexible. It can go from a sort of an ambient reverb type to a stuttering, granular, tremolo delay. It has quite a lot of sounds in it. The 4th jam I did was out on sort of a meadow at sunset with my trusty guitar lady. I hope you can see it there. This jam was just a piece I wanted to do out in nature and just do some looping. The presets on the Blackhole and UltraTap plugins are incredibly useful because they're so varied and you can just sort of scroll through them very quickly, and because everything is on one screen, so you can change the presets very quickly. This helps reduce the sort of cognitive overload that you can often get with an overwhelming synth or an effect which can do everything, but you wind up not doing anything useful because you're just turning a knob and you can't hear any difference. Pretty much every knob in the Eventide plugins do something significant and useful. The 5th jam I did was in a tunnel quite near the station where I live. Of course, tunnels have those echoes and resonances and reverbs, and lots of sounds sort of hang in the air. And I was using this in combination with the iPhone microphone and speaker. Eventide, of course, cleverly have made it a default that the microphone input is muted so that you don't get feedback when you start them up. And of course, I unmuted them and then started playing with the feedback. It was quite fun and quite playable, sort of reacting to the sounds of a jogger running by and the trains coming in and... Train. All the ambient sounds that sort of linger in the air that you can sort of play with because UltraTap and Blackhole and MicroPitch have so many settings that you can sort of grab a sound and follow it along. It was quite fun, actually. Again, I was using all 3 plugins and the multi-touch screen of the iPhone to create a lot of variations in the effect and sort of play with the sounds. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and click subscribe and follow along. Thanks for watching.